Everyone dreams of saying I do to the perfect husband, having a grand wedding, and living happily ever after. But rarely do we think the fairy tale wedding we dreamt of will end up as a front page headline of Tinseltown tabloids. In this series, we explore the rise and fall of Hollywood's greatest romances and how the most blissful marriages ended in divorce riddled with scandal. The Glamour Files presents Hollywood Divorce. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard were an A-list couple in Hollywood until their rocky marriage exposed their Hollywood divorce. How did Johnny Depp and Amber Heard go from being an A-list couple to bitter enemies and letting their marriage hit rock bottom? What could have led to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's scandalous Hollywood divorce? Stay tuned to find out more. Johnny Depp is one of Hollywood's most beloved actors. We all know him from the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, Fantastic Beasts, and many more memorable movies. In comparison, Amber Heard was from a southern Texas town and was looking to make her mark on Hollywood after dropping out of high school to pursue acting. She was not as widely known as Depp as a standout actress, but she still made her way into the movies like The Danish Girl in 2015 and Rum Diary with Depp in 2011. So what about this pair kept our tongues wagging? Well, their bombshell Hollywood divorce, of course, that led to their defamation trial. It's been front page news for the last few years, and it all started on a film set. In 2009, Depp and Heard first met on the location of the film Rum Diary. Depp starred as Paul Kemp, a journalist who takes a job in Puerto Rico. Heard played Chenault, a woman betrothed to another man, whom Kemp fell in love with at first sight. According to a court filing, Depp and Heard started dating between the end of 2011 and the start of 2012. Around that time, Depp started dating Heard in 2012. Depp also announced his separation from his longtime partner, Vanessa Paradis, after 14 years of dating. Depp has 2 children with Paradis, Lily Rose and John Christopher. Heard also called it quits in 2012 with her longtime partner, Tysa Van Ray. In 2014, Heard was spotted showing off an engagement ring. People magazine reported that Depp and Heard were engaged after a picture emerged of the actress wearing an ornate engagement ring. Later, Depp confirmed the engagement in a video interview with the Daily Mail, after discussing wedding plans and pointing out that he was wearing a, quote, chick's ring on his finger. Then, in 2015, after several years of dating, wedding bells chimed. Depp and Heard married in a private ceremony in their LA home. Later in 2015, things took a strange turn for the couple. Depp and Heard breached Australia biosecurity laws after they failed to declare their dogs Yorkshire Terriers when they arrived in the country. They released an apology video together. Depp and Heard's marriage, on all accounts, was going well during this time, and the couple was living a quiet life in marital bliss until 2016. A year later in 2016, Heard left the marriage and accused Depp of physical abuse. Then on May 23rd of 2016, Amber Heard filed for divorce from Johnny Depp, and their Hollywood divorce was declared. 4 days later, Heard obtained a temporary restraining order against the Oscar-nominated actor Johnny Depp. Heard alleged that Depp physically abused her during their relationship and said it was usually while under the influence of drugs and alcohol. Heard also alleged that on May 21st, before filing for divorce, there was a phone-throwing incident. Depp immediately denied the accusations and, quote, through his representative, said Heard was attempting to secure a premature financial resolution by alleging abuse, unquote. On August 16th of 2016, their divorce trial took place. Under oath at the deposition, Amber Heard testified against Johnny Depp, but a settlement was eventually reached after Heard withdrew her request for a domestic violence restraining order. She also rescinded her spousal support request of $50,000 a month. Following the settlement, Depp and Heard eventually released a joint statement together. Quote, our relationship was intensely passionate and at times volatile, but always bound by love. Neither party has made false accusations for financial gain, unquote. They also said, quote, there was never any intent of physical or emotional harm, unquote. During Depp and Heard's divorce trial, a $7 million settlement was reached out of court. Heard's $7 million from the divorce was to be donated to charity, according to People magazine. In 2017, Depp and Heard's divorce was finalized a year after Heard filed. Heard got to keep the dogs that were at the center of the 2015 scandal when the couple failed to declare them in Australia. Depp retained sole possession over all properties, including his private island in the Bahamas. The Hollywood Reporter reported that a non-disparagement clause inserted into the settlement prevented both parties from saying negative things about their relationship. So what could have led to Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's swift Hollywood divorce in just a year or so? More dirt would soon spill out in the months to come for these two ex-lovebirds. It started when more bombshells were dropped about the truth about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's relationship, when phone recordings obtained by the Daily Mail were released in 2020, in which Heard admitted to hitting Depp.
You're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, you've been in a lot of fights, you've been around a long time. I know. Yeah.
No, when you fucking have a close.
You didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
Depp was heard saying in response, quote, "I left last night. Honestly, I swear to you, because I just couldn't take the idea of more physicality, more physical abuse on each other." On July 7th of 2020, Depp went through a 3-week libel trial that began with the News Group newspapers, the publisher of the UK paper, The Sun. Depp sued the publisher and went to court over a 2018 article in which they called him, quote, "a wife beater," and inferred reference to Depp and Heard's former marriage. Depp sued the publisher and The Sun's executive editor, Dan Wooten, for libel. Depp's ex-girlfriend, Winona Ryder, and his ex, Vanessa Paradis, supported him. Ryder wrote, quote, "The idea that he is an incredibly violent person is the farthest thing from the Johnny I knew and loved," unquote. Paradis wrote that Heard's accusations are, quote, "nothing like the true Johnny I have known from my personal experience of many years. I can say he was never violent or abusive to me," unquote. The trial started in early July 2020 and lasted 3 weeks. Depp alleged that Heard defecated in his bed and punched him, which Heard denies. Depp also accused Heard of having extramarital affairs with James Franco and Elon Musk, which Heard also denies. Time passed, and by the fall, November 2nd of 2020, the court ruled against Johnny Depp in the trial against the publisher of the UK paper, The Sun, for the 2018 article where The Sun called Depp a wife beater. Justice Nichol ruled that The Sun was correct when they reported that Johnny Depp was violent toward his ex-wife Amber Heard. When reaching his ruling, Judge Nichol referred to 14 separate incidents that The Sun's lawyer cited to justify Depp as being a wife beater. After the UK Sun publisher libel case, Johnny Depp repeatedly denied all claims that he abused Amber Heard. Then the Sun UK publisher exclaimed that they stood up and campaigned for victims of domestic abuse for over 20 years. They came out and thanked Amber Heard for her courageousness and for telling her story. However, Depp's team was troubled that Judge Nichol overlooked mountains of evidence during the trial from police officers, witnesses, and documentary evidence that undermined Heard's allegations against Depp. Depp's legal team stated that it would be silly for Depp not to appeal. Therefore, Johnny Depp and his legal team hoped to overturn the court's ruling with an appeal. Still, in response, in a statement that was made public, Judge Nichol refused to grant permission to appeal against his judgment in the UK libel case against The Sun's publisher, after applying to the Court of Appeals in London to obtain permission to contest the High Court ruling that he assaulted his ex-wife Amber Heard. The Court of Appeals judges denied Johnny Depp's application, saying the original hearing was, quote, full and fair. Luckily, while giving evidence at the application hearing, Depp's team found out that Heard lied about donating the $7 million from her divorce trial to charity. During this time, Depp started another case against Amber Heard in the U.S. Johnny Depp launched a $50 million case against Amber Heard in the U.S. over a column she penned for the Washington Post about her experience as a domestic violence victim. Although Depp was not directly named in Heard's op-ed piece, his legal team insists that it was strongly inferred that the article was about him. Unfortunately for Depp, 4 days later, on November 6th of 2020, Depp announced that he had been asked to resign from his role as Grunwald in Fantastic Beasts 3. Depp would no longer take the part of Grunwald. In a statement, Depp was eager to prove the allegations against him were false. Warner Brothers Studios confirmed the departure. Depp's $100 million libel suit against Amber Heard for the Washington Post op-ed article occurred in a court trial on April 11th of 2022 at a Fairfax County courthouse in Virginia. Depp filed the defamation suit against Heard in response to an op-ed detailing her experience with domestic violence. Depp's name isn't mentioned, but the article was widely interpreted as being about him. In January of 2021, Heard countersued Depp for $100 million after her motion to move the case to California was denied. The trial opened with remarks from both Depp and Heard's lawyers. Heard's lawyer, J. Benjamin Rottenborn, said in court this lawsuit is centered around whether Heard was exercising her First Amendment right to free speech by writing the Washington Post op-ed article about her experience with domestic violence, to which Heard's lawyer, Rottenborn, argued, quote, "The answer is very clearly yes," unquote, Rottenborn said. Heard was exercising her right to free speech. At one point after reading the entire op-ed article in court, Rottenborn claimed the article was not meant to stir up allegations about Depp. Instead, Heard wrote it to speak about an issue impacting pending legislation. While Heard's team argued she was expressing her right to freedom of speech, countering Heard, Depp's lawyer, Benjamin Chew, went after Heard as a liar, saying Heard's accusations suggested in the op-ed ruined Depp's career and alienated him from producers who once favored the movie star. On April 20th of 2022, Depp outlined countless verbal abuse incidents Heard enacted toward him during their marriage. Depp said that not him but Amber Heard was the real abuser in their marriage, and the change in their relationship started with her making little digs and demeaning name-calling. Depp said that he felt that he was suddenly wrong about everything and suffered an endless parade of insults throughout their marriage. During the trial, Depp also said Heard, quote, had a need for violence, unquote. She shoved him and threw glasses of wine in his face. When these arguments began, Depp said he would try to free himself from the situation by locking himself in the bathroom just to escape Heard. Depp also described frequent verbal attacks and that his relationship with Amber Heard often contributed to him using alcohol and drugs. Depp stated, quote, I was more inspired by Miss Heard to reach out for a numbing agent because of the constant clashes, unquote, he said. Quote, I had to have something to distance me and distance my heart from those verbal attacks, unquote. Depp also called Heard, quote, possessed, unquote, when she severed his finger with a vodka bottle after an argument. Additionally, Depp said his finger was severed for a month after his 2015 wedding to Amber Heard, when Heard flew out to Australia to visit him as he filmed the 5th installment of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Moreover, when Depp and Heard reached a divorce settlement in 2016, Heard announced that she would donate the entirety of her $7 million settlement to charity. She said the money would be split between the American Civil Liberties Union and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. However, in the op-ed trial, the ACLU said Heard donated $3.5 million to the charity. But it was revealed in court that Amber Heard only paid $350,000 in August of 2016. The other payments were from Johnny Depp's investment accounts and Elon Musk for $500,000. From Heard's legal side, a psychologist said that Depp forced Heard to have sex and also harmed her with the bottle when he was angry during their relationship. Heard also claimed that Johnny Depp hit her and repeatedly sexually abused her with the glass vodka bottle. Even Amber Heard's friends claimed that Johnny Depp threatened to hit Amber Heard right after they were married, saying, quote, we're married now. I can punch her in the face and nobody can do anything about it, unquote. Heard continued further to make additional accusations against Johnny Depp by saying Depp would self-harm. Quote, he often in fights would cut his arms or hold a knife to his chest or draw blood superficially at first. He also put cigarettes out on himself, unquote, Heard said. At one point in the trial, Depp accused Heard of extramarital relationships with Elon Musk and James Franco. However, Heard said she became friends with Elon Musk in 2016, whom she later dated, after her then-husband Johnny Depp stood her up on the Met Gala red carpet that year. Amber Heard said that Depp failed to show up to the Met Gala, which was held 2 weeks after the couple had an explosive fight that Johnny Depp said led to the end of their relationship. Additionally, there are other alleged incidents where Johnny Depp was jealous of Amber Heard's acting career and was upset about a movie with nude scenes of Amber Heard. Even though, according to Johnny Depp, while on the stand, he helped Amber Heard's career along when he reached out to Warner Brothers executives on Amber Heard's behalf following the Aquaman audition. After 6 weeks of trial testimony and less than 3 days of deliberation, jurors reached a verdict. The Virginia jurors found both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard liable for defamation against each other. The court awarded Johnny Depp $15 million, $10 million in compensatory damages, and $5 million in punitive damages. The judge lessened the damages to $350,000 because of Virginia's statutory cap. Heard was awarded $2 million, but no money for punitive damages. The trial lasted from April 11th of 2022 to June 1st of 2022. Amber Heard continued to promote this theory in television interviews after the trial, saying that social media was overwhelmingly in favor of Johnny Depp. Amber Heard also said that she still loved Johnny Depp despite their rocky marriage. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard failed to reach a settlement, leading to Heard's team pursuing a mistrial. However, Judge Karate, who presided over the trial in Fairfax County, Virginia, denied Amber Heard's call for a mistrial and rejected Heard's motion by announcing that the jury's original verdict would stand. Depp is still recovering from his divorce scandal with Amber Heard and has moved on to a new relationship. At the same time, Amber Heard sought refuge abroad with her daughter and new partner. Amber Heard still has not paid her lawyers or Johnny Depp his $10.4 million. Johnny Depp still has the funds to write off his legal fees, while Amber Heard cannot. In addition, some legal matters are still pending. Depp and Heard's marriage lasted only 15 months, and their Hollywood divorce is one of the most scandalous proceedings in modern Hollywood history. To this day, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's marriage and divorce were as complicated as it were legendary. Their divorce proceedings and various court trials after their Hollywood divorce went down in Hollywood history as one to be remembered. Their case will be added to the Hollywood Divorce Files. So there you have it. What did you think about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's Hollywood divorce? Did your favorite couple make it into the Hollywood Divorce Files? We'd love to hear your thoughts about what A-list pair we should include in the show's next episode. Leave a comment below. If you haven't already done so, please like this video, click the bell to stay up to date on our upcoming videos, and subscribe. Also, join us on Instagram, TikTok, and Meta for more content. For more information on Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's life and career, check out the various book, film, and memorabilia links below. Until next time, Glamour Gals, this is Hollywood Divorce.